What's up, guys? It's your boy Travell LeVar. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Travell LeVar, and make sure while you're watching the video you hit subscribe, like it, share it, comment, ask questions. I'm super excited to go on this journey with y'all. Alright, let's get into it. So first things first, the prep. This is a color guess for me. This is our second visit. We touched her roots up and actually deepened her roots a little bit, added a red tone to fade into this copper on her pre-lighting ends, and it came out amazing. You always want to start after your shampoo and your conditioning process with leave-in conditioner. I am a Mizani fan and also a Mizani artist, so I use our 25 Miracle Cream, followed by our Thermasmooth Sleek Guard and Style Again. All three of these products are brushed thoroughly through the hair. One of the biggest failures when it comes to a silk press, guys, is the products not getting distributed thoroughly through the hair. Alright, so take your time with a paddle brush or detangler and thoroughly distribute that product. Make sure it goes all throughout every section, every strand. Alright, if you don't do this, it sets you up for failure. Okay, failure on one end is that you don't get product throughout the hair, so you don't get consistent shine or consistent smoothness. Also, you're gonna run into snags, tangles, simply because you didn't comb the hair out. It makes for a smooth blow dry. Alright, my blow dry method. Number one, I like to use a blow dry with a concentrator and a paddle brush. This particular paddle brush is by Fromm, and it has a ceramic base, so it actually heats up. It's called a hot paddle. I'll attach the link below so you can get one of your own, but I love it. At Mizani, we have a saying, tension and heat must meet. Okay, I know we have several blow drying techniques out there. I've been in the industry for 13 years, and this is my go-to. I don't blow dry without a brush in my hand. I know we like the pick attachments, and we like the new blow dryers that pull the moisture out of the hair simultaneously. It's cute. I like my brush and my blow dryer. Okay, it works. It makes sure the hair is shine. You can see, literally, you can see the shine of the hair. Look at it, y'all. Look at the shine. You can see it on the hair. You don't have to guess. The hair is already smooth. So by the time I hit this with my flat iron is almost like that last wax coating you put on your car when you go through the car wash. It's not cleaning, it's just making it sparkle. That's what the flat iron is supposed to do. It's not supposed to do all the heavy lifting. The heavy lifting comes from the blow drying process. And if you're using the right amount of tension, you'll notice there's no smoke, no fumes, no mist. Medium heat will straighten the hair out just fine if you have the right amount of tension. Okay, also if the hair is properly hydrated. Dry hair is always going to dry out fast and leave no moisture behind and no shine. Okay, no matter how much product you put on it, because it's inherently dry and it's lacking moisture. Also, probably the bonds are broken in the hair, so it's not able to retain anything. That cuticle layer is blown clean off. If you don't have a tight cuticle layer or it's not sealed, you can hang up any amount of shine. You can put oil in it all day. Healthy hair reflects light, period. It's got to be healthy. Okay, so that should be the first foundation for any styling, whether it's natural, whether it's straight. It needs to be healthy, and that starts at the bowl. Honestly, every service starts with a good consultation and starts with that shampoo and conditioning process. Everything after that is only going to be as successful as that process was. Every guest I do, whether it's just a trim or a blow dryer, we're always going to have a conversation and a consultation to make sure we're on the same page. Okay, but back to this blow drying. You see, I'm taking my time stretching the hair out. I do incorporate the tension method, so that's where I take the hair, stretch it out as much as possible, and let the heat and airflow do the work. After I've gotten that section of hair about 80% dry, then I'll go on with my blow dryer and continue stretching. What this does is cut down on manipulation from the brush going repeatedly through curly hair. Curly hair wraps around the bristles, it wraps around itself, and not only is it painful for the client, it results in breakage. Alright, so just be careful. Stretch the hair out as much as possible before you start going. It cuts down half the manipulation, so you get more length retention in the end. And for my natural girls, that's the goal. They want their length. Alright, so here I'm just cooling off my dryer a little bit before I go and attack the hairline. It's always good to cool your dryer off and then let the heat kind of come back to medium to get that hairline, because you want to first get the moisture out and then smooth it, but you don't want to burn their foreheads. Okay, it's not cute. Turn that dryer down. Also, I ask my guests which side they're going to wear their hair to, and then I blow dry in that direction. And usually, depending on how I'm styling, I blow dry my entire set like that. It has to be in the direction I'm going to style. It just makes it easier. There's less flyaways and there's less wrestle with the hair trying to get it to do what you want, only because it's been shaped a certain way. Blow drying is still shaping the hair, so how you shape it with the blow dry is how it's going to come out. Also, for a natural guess, however this blow dry is, that's how the hair will revert. All right, so if you have a how do I want to say this and be respectful, a lackluster blow dry, it's not going to work. Okay, it's going to revert to something crazy, and then they're going to be disappointed, and then they're going to have a failed Silkpress. And what ends up happening, they may attempt to put heat on it themselves and burn it up. All right, not cool. So about to go in and press. I'll usually hit the root once or twice and then come down the mid shaft one time. This iron is set to 400 degrees. I'm comfortable with that temperature. I use it most of the time in the salon. Sometimes I'll go down to 370 depending on the color and the health of the hair. But one pass is always the goal. Remember, we're just polishing and smoothing. The work has been done with the blow dryer. Now, this particular flat iron, I've had it for about a year now. I love it. I've actually been familiar with this brand since I started doing hair. I purchased their first iron. It was at a hair show in Florida about 11 years ago. I was fresh out of school working for a salon. I had a chance to go do some platform work and sell some other tools, and they had theirs at the show, and I bought it, the very first run of them. It was called the Izutech, the ceramic 1-inch, and I still have it. It's 11 years old. I put it in storage so I don't kill it or burn it out. That's my antique, and that's my baby. But this is the upgraded version of it. It's the Izutech KTX 450. It does go up to 450 degrees. Not that I ever use it, and it is ceramic. Most of the time I'm working with ceramic irons. I'm not a huge fan of titanium, only because it's a very penetrative heat, and it reminds me of the stove, and we don't use the same type of polymers and heat protectants they used to use back in the day, aka DAX. They could do whatever they wanted with the stove and not worry about heat damage because you had layers of grease on the hair to protect it from the heat. Well, we want our hair to move, so there's no more grease, no more heavy layers of product, so you have to be careful with the use of metals on the hair, okay? Without good protection, you will burn the hair up, okay? One good thing about the Thermasmooth line is in Mizani is that their products protect the hair up to 450 degrees. All right, so that great heat protection. They also offer great shine and they're lightweight. Look at the shine, y'all. It's undeniable. I know. Look at it. And here's the thing with color treated hair, it's supposed to be shiny, it's supposed to be healthy. If it's dull after it's done, a step was missed in restoring the moisture balance back to the hair, or the cuticle layer was compromised, okay? Even if it's blonde, even if it's copper, it should still have shine, okay? That means that cuticle layer is doing what it's supposed to do. Alright, so you see me keep going here, one pass through. That's all it takes. When you get to the front, be very delicate around the face. If you need to use a smaller iron, go ahead and grab you a smaller iron. They make pencils now, and get those little baby hairs, but leave no hair untouched by that iron, okay? Get the root, come down the strain, just like that. You also want to be careful when you're flat ironing how much tension and how much pressure you put on the hair shaft with the iron. If you're using high heat combined with high pressure, 9 times out of 10 you're going to break the bonds in the hair shaft. Remember, the hair is made up of that disulfide bond. That's what gives it its curl pattern and gives it its memory. If you press it out and you break the bond, it's not going to curl back up, okay? It'll have the same effect as a relaxer, and then you have to either transition the hair out or cut it off. Now, I do have clients, what I call career naturals. They don't have relaxers for the purpose of just not being chemically treated, but they only wear their hair straight. With those guests, and again, this is mentioned in the consultation, the more often you wear your hair straight, 9 times out of 10 you're going to see some form of curl elongation. Now, I consider curl elongation and heat damage to be 2 different things, okay? Heat damage is when the curl has been lost and is not restorable, okay? That means those ends are straight. No matter what you do, as the hair dries, they will not revert. Okay, there's a strong difference between that and curl elongation. Most of my clients that have straight hair or wear their hair straight most of the time, that have curl elongation, they actually wear their hair curly in the summer, and guess what? It pops right back. The hair has memory. If you don't break the bond, the hair will eventually return to its original shape, okay? So just be mindful of that. And again, explain that in the consultation. Most of the breakdown in communication between stylists and clients is we just don't talk. I mean, it's crazy. We're in a chair for an hour and 30 minutes sometimes, and we don't talk, or we talk about everything but the hair. Okay, that's the important piece. That's why they came to see me. That's why they come to see you. Talk about hair, okay? Do a thorough consultation, find out what's going on, find out what their regimen is, how it can be tweaked, all that good stuff, all right? It matters in the long run. So just going through pressing, and again, I press in the direction that I blow dry it, and also in the direction that I want to style. All right, I don't want hair sticking up at the top because it wants to go left when I'm trying to go right, all that good stuff. All right, so just remember that, press in the direction that you're styling. All right, look at the shine, y'all. It's ridiculous. This is a copper. I was trying to figure out what this reminded me of, and it's Jessica Rabbit. It's that sass, that flair. I just love it. So getting ready to trim the ends. I don't do any color services that don't follow up with a trim. Okay. After you apply color to the hair, the older hair down at the bottom, it's just a matter of time before it starts to split. All right. And even if it's just a dusting, it still needs to be cut. Okay, now I know we talk about what's appropriate for a trim. It's the last 1/8 inch of a hair. It's a dusting. It's a haircut. Period. It's a haircut. My shears are opening and closing. They're cutting hair. It doesn't matter how much happens. It's a haircut. Now, traditionally and ethically, what we call a trim is the last 1/8 inch, or that dusting of a hair. My guest has not had her hair trimmed in a few months since the last time she's seen me, so this is perfect timing. I don't follow the 6 to 8 rule. 6 to 8 week rule, only because I feel like everybody's hair grows at a different rate. And for me and my clients over the last 12 years, I found this to work. I usually trim hair every 8 to 12 weeks, depending on regimen and depending on manipulation. For a natural hair guest that's wearing their hair natural most of the time, they usually need trims a little bit more often, simply because they're constantly detangling, twisting, braiding, finger coiling. It's a lot of manipulation, so I usually trim them around the 8 to 10 week mark, versus my straighter guests that wear their hair straight most of the time. They can go much longer because their hair is usually in a resting state. It's been pressed out, silked out, and they're wrapping it at night. There's very little combing and manipulation. All right, just a trend I've noticed. It works for me, works for my guests. Whatever works for you, works for you. This is me, and I'm frugal with trims. If it's a trim, I only want the last little bit. I'm not trying to give a haircut. All right. And be communicative with your guests. All right, let them talk and tell you what they want. If they don't want a haircut, don't give them a haircut. We have trashed some of our reputations only because we just don't listen. I know we think we know best, and we kind of do, but still, it's not our hair. All right, so just be respectful of the client's wishes. If they don't want a haircut, don't give them a haircut. You wouldn't want nobody cutting your hair. All right, so go through. I'm trimming up her layers. With a trim, you trim the hair where it lives. We're not trimming for style. I'm not reshaping her hair. When she goes to wear it curly, the shape is not going to change, okay? We are just trimming that last bit off the ends of the hair shaft, and you trim it directly where it lives. Pull it up, pull it out. All right, just like that. This blend on the color is everything. I love how it transitions from that red at the root down to that copper tone, and then a little bit of a light gold at the ends. I love it. Going back in and curling, I'm a bit of a stickler for tools. I need them to do multiple things. I can't just have an iron to press, another one to curl. It's too much work for me, and I don't like having all that clutter on my station. Okay, this iron does everything I need it to do. It presses, it curls, it waves. The size is really good. It's a 1 inch, but it curls very well. The plates around it. I do have a larger curling iron and a larger flat iron I'll pull out sometimes. And if I have time and I feel a little inclined, I still work with my Marcells. I still got it. I can still flick it. But for the most part, I'm using my flat iron right now. And waves are in, so they're easy to do with a flat iron, and they last. I tend to find that curls done with a flat iron will last a little bit longer than curls done with a curling iron, only because there are slight bends. You can't even see them. They're micro bends that happen in the hair shaft as you bend it around the iron, and it causes it to last. All right. Again, one pass to curl. Usually when I'm curling, I will dial the iron back a notch just so I get the appropriate temperature. I don't need that same amount of heat to press. And again, I haven't pressed the life out of the hair. Like, it still has plumpness, it still has life. It's not dead, okay? You'll notice that if you press the hair too much, especially at high temperatures, the hair don't want to do nothing after that. It don't want to curl, it don't want to wave, it just want to lay there because it says, I'm tired, man. You done took me through a whole lot. You beat me over with the dryer, and you just beat me off this iron. I don't want to do nothing else, okay? You don't want that. Leave the hair with its life, leave it with its moisture balance. Use the right temperature, y'all, okay? And the right products. If you notice it's humid outside, I'll set my whole shampoo area up according to what the weather is. If I know it's humid, everybody's getting a moisture treatment under the steamer. It's not negotiable, okay? You have to go under simply because it's humid outside, and I don't want my work to revert. All right, so take that in consideration. So just polishing up here, going through my front section. I like to curl away from the face only because I feel like it's easier for my clients to wrap and to wear on their own. I really don't curl towards the face. It's just not my style unless I'm doing something vintage. But here we are. Curl back away from the face. and just layer those curls on top of each other. Also, if I'm dealing with a client who has a longer length of hair, they usually don't have very many layers, or the layers are very long, so you're not going to get that dramatic effect. What I'll do is curl in very small sections and stack those curls on top of each other, so you have varying degrees of curls and lengths. Okay, and here's one of my favorite parts. I'm gonna polish up her edges. I'm using Mizani's sculpting paste. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with edge control, okay? Because I see it abused a whole lot and it ends up just ruining styles, okay? Ladies, your edges are not behind your ears, so it shouldn't be combed back there. Noted, okay? It's edge. I don't like water-based edge controls or clear ones very much, only because they cause the hair to revert and it just ruins the style, and usually not combable, or it's not flexible later on. But this works pretty well for me. And this is the comb out, one of my favorite parts. This color is everything. It's one of my favorite parts, guys. Look at it. Look at it. Shine is on point. Bounce is on point. The hair is lightweight. It's healthy. It's shiny. You can be all that in one shot, okay? Don't take much. And this is the big reveal. She loved it. She was satisfied with it. She wore it for days. I think she went by a couple weeks. I actually saw her and she hasn't washed it yet. It looks great. All right. But anywho, make sure you follow me on social media. Hit like and subscribe. I'm excited about this. It's good stuff. Let's go. You could be my peace sign.